Alright, so I am in Nottingham Rescue Rooms, joined by Ady Suleiman on the first day of his UK tour. How are you doing?
I'm good, thank you. Yeah, really good. Really positive, relaxed, calm.
Excited to start?
Yeah, excited to start. Like, it's a weird one because I've been really relaxed about this tour. So usually I prang out there about tour and that and rehearsals, but I've been pretty calm. So
how does it feel?
I hope that's a good sign. I hope it's a good tour, like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I feel good. Excited to play.
How does it feel having a sold out show in kind of the area you kind of came up in or grew up in?
Yeah, it's always really nice, isn't it? Like, it's... Yeah, I mean, anytime a show sells out, like, as well as much as it being about ticket sales, it's always about vibe as well for me. Like, you just know that when people are like crammed into a room, like, the energy is just different. So I'm really excited, and I think it being like the first show of tour, I'm hoping that no pressure nuts, but I'm hoping it like sets me off well and kind of calms all the rest of the nerves and stuff. Because if you do a good show at the beginning, it kind of takes the pressure off. Whereas if it goes badly at the beginning, you're like, ooh.
So it's not like a dress run where if it goes bad firstly, you're like, no, it's going to be fine for the rest.
No, I mean, I can't really do that much because I do feel a certain amount of pressure because obviously all my family and friends come down. It's actually probably like one of the most nerve-wracking shows. Like, London's always nerve-wracking because it's usually a slightly bigger capacity than the other regions that I tour in, and also you get like your press and whatnot coming down. But other than that, like, Nottingham is my other like pressure show because it's family and friends, and I feel like, yeah, I just don't want to do a bad job.
Yeah.
It's also like, it's just, I feel like it's harder to perform in front of people you know because they know you're in it. So like, I don't know what it is. I just feel weird, like, oh, because I probably am not the same person as I am on stage as I'm off stage. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like, I like to think I'm a lot cooler when I'm on stage. I have to put on a persona, like, to put in a performance, whereas I'm a bit of a geek, really. So I know my mates know that, so they're like...
You're worried they're going to like mug you off?
Yeah, like, they know me, do you know what I mean? They're going to call me out. That didn't happen, what are you on about?
So last time we caught up with you was part of our coverage of Dot to Dot Festival in 2018. That was like June last year. Yeah. And you played Rock City, and for me that was like the sickest gig of the day. I really enjoyed it.
Oh, thank you so much.
But how have things developed for you since playing in Nottingham last time?
Poor, that's a good question. I mean, honestly, like, you know, my career in general has been like a pretty mad journey for me, and lots of ups and downs. And I can't really describe it, but at the moment I feel like I've been in the best position I've been in since starting music. So that's like, you know, mentally, health-wise, and career-wise, and kind of like creative-wise, like experience-wise, everything. I feel like I'm at the peak of, I'm at the best I've been at the moment. So I feel really good. So I don't know what's happened in that period exactly, but I definitely feel like it's a really good time for me at the moment. So.
I mean, just like about a year ago now, you released your debut album, Memories.
Yeah. And
you've got, like, fast forward a year, coming up to the release of Thoughts and Moments on the 5th of April, is it?
Yeah.
How do you think your sound's then developed, if you're in this really good place and stuff like that, from then to now?
Well, I don't know how much it's developed. Like, I've always been pretty experimental with my music in terms of, like, I don't really like to be put in a box or like be genre specific. So this record is in the same kind of the same light as Memories, in the sense that there's a lot of different kind of variations and sonics. Like Strange Roses, a track that I just put out, is like a lot more kind of classic soul, bit of pop kind of influence in there in terms of songwriting, but sonically it's very like classic, organic, authentic, like, you know, live instruments kind of sound, not too much, if I don't think any kind of electronics in there, so it's a very organic sounding record. But then on the project I got Been Through, which has also come out, which is like more Afrobeat, and it's got kind of like synth bass and, you know, different kind of a vibe to it. And then there's more records that are going to come out on the project that are similar, you know, not trappy drums, but like, you know, more produced kind of sonic sounding. So I saw this project as like a stepping stone project for me, in terms of like, it was a time, it was like I'd just come out of the Memories album cycle, which, you know, was a relief, and to kind of come out of that headspace and to finish a project that I've been working on for so long. So this was kind of like, I didn't want to go straight back into a thingy where it's like guidelines, strict, and like what you're doing, and do you know what I mean? I kind of just wanted to like be almost like a kid again. Do you know what I mean? Just play around on a project and not overthink and not like, what am I trying to say? What am I doing? And just kind of be lucid with a project. And I thought it was really important for me to have that time and to have a project like that. And that's basically thoughts and moments. Hence why it's called Thoughts and Moments. It's very kind of just sparse and but it's been great because I feel like it's really helped me kind of. I'm in a new kind of place. Like I said, in my career and like my setup and my team and everything is different. So it's kind of been nice to kind of have this project to fully kind of work that in, if that makes sense. And that's for myself as well, you know, when sometimes in making music, like I need to like kind of, you can get lost a lot, I think, in the process of making music, and because of, you know, other people cooking in the pot or whatever, if you're working with blah blah blah. So it's nice now to just like come out and be like, oh, I'm just I feel so much more in control and independent in my thinking and in the way that I am as an artist. So it's been really, really fun. And I think, again, this project was the first step of going back to that place where I started out doing music. So it's been mad exciting, and it's kind of been like refreshing to get back into that headspace and, oh, this is how I do things, and so it's just been fun. And I think that this project is what's put me in such a good place mentally and creatively and everything, because you know, you can be unsure when you're kind of going back to that. Do you know what I mean? It's like, oh, what's this? It's like if you come out of a relationship, innit, and then you're single and you're a bit like nervous. Do you know what I mean? You go into a club, you're like, oh God, like I can't remember what it's like to be single. Like, have I still got game, or can I still whatever chat to the opposite sex or whatnot? And then you do it a couple of times, you're like, oh, this is pretty good. Then you're like building your confidence. You're like, I love being single. Do you get me?
Yeah.
It's kind of how I feel with.
You had a bit of a. Am I right in thinking that you were signed to a label early on?
Yeah.
And then you kind of, it was Simon Cowell's label or something, and then you ended up leaving that. Yeah,
I left that about 3 years ago, and that's exactly it. I signed when I was like 20, 21, and you know, at the time it was. I mean, it wasn't that it was a bad decision, but you know, I learnt a lot and I really enjoyed my time, so I can't slag it off too much. And I lived very good and did some incredible things and still managed to put out some good music, and most of Memory was made under that contract, so I can't complain too much. But in terms of headspace and mental kind of like how I felt creatively, and I felt really kind of frustrated a lot of the time, so that's what I mean about when I'm talking now, like to come out of that space. And that's no disrespect to anyone at that label, just for me personally, I didn't want to manoeuvre and work in that way. And I knew that pretty quickly, to be honest, so it was always a kind of a struggle. But yeah, it's now it's all really good, so I'm very happy.
That's good. And you released a video on Twitter kind of recently, and you were talking about the kind of creation of the mixtape and stuff. And a big thing you focused on was the idea that you didn't want to just jump into a new album, and you wanted that space to like create and stuff like that. And do you think that's then filtered into the music?
You never really know. Like I have like a certain way of working, and sometimes it's actually quite difficult to leave things, like because you want to tighten up everything, and when you get excited about something, like, oh, let's redo this and redo that. So it's actually quite difficult for me to not do that as much. So, but there's still an element of me perfecting the song, because that's like naturally what I end up doing. So I think the idea of this project changed along the way. As I was making it, it changed, and like it wasn't as free maybe as I first envisioned it, and there were songs that were a bit more tightly constructed, and I did think about the lyrics more, and there wasn't as much freestyling or whatever as I wanted, but it's still come from that place. Do you know what I mean? It's stemmed from that idea, and I guess part of that idea was for me to not, you know, to, if that's what I wanted to do, go with it. Do you know what I mean? So, but yeah, it definitely affected the music, because I never felt any stress or anything or any pressure making this project, which is nice, because you know sometimes you do feel that when you're making stuff.
And just like zeroing in, like you said, on sort of the different things that you've explored throughout the project, there's a song that you released fairly recently called Rise Up.
Oh yeah.
And when I first listened to it, I was kind of like surprised at how lyrically it's a lot more sort of almost like humanitarian than any of the stuff of yours that I've heard you do before. And I was just wondering, like, what's the impetus behind something that's so like calling for people to rise up, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to know the truth, like, it's always a mad thing in it, because sometimes like I'm like, oh, I shouldn't like say the whole story about certain things because for whatever, but I think recently I just got to be very honest. Like, I actually wrote that song a long time ago, and I really liked it, and I played it at a festival, I think in like 2014, and the label didn't want me to release it because they're like, oh, it's too like, not political, but it's too like, do you know what I mean? Like, yeah, I wrote that around the time where obviously a lot was going on in the news with the Palestine and Israel and stuff like that, and I think just everything I was kind of seeing was just bare negative, really, and that's really what inspired the tune, because I just thought, oh, like, obviously it's easy for me to say because I'm not in that position, but I think in scenarios where, like, you know, people's lives are exposed, especially, you know, children and women and stuff, over like a piece of land or this or kind of different beliefs, I remember just thinking, this is really mad. Like, at what point do you kind of say this is crazy? Obviously easy for me to say, and I don't believe certain things, so, but that was kind of my intake on stuff, is like, there's got to be a point where, like, compromise, and I think that's just in everything. Like, even in my life, you know, you always you want to do what you want to do, you want to think the way you want to think, and blah blah blah, but I think and you can like not like certain people thinking this way, or he's this, I can't believe he doesn't believe or think the same way I am, but you know, I think when that comes to like violence and you actually like really arguing, do you know what I mean, and it gets like children are dying, like I said, and women getting raped and stuff, you got to be like, let's just compromise for a minute, because I get you think something different, believe something different to me, but is it really worth all of this? That's kind of how I think, and I think compromise, a lot of people can see that as a weakness, like, you know, even as an artist, oh, I compromise my sound to do this, or I compromise this, or in my relationship I compromise that for this person. Like, a lot of people think it's a sign of weakness, but for me I think it really shows strength, so I think that's another reason why I wrote the tune.
It's not like the first time you kind of had a bit of a stand. So like, I know you did a lot with was it Calm?
Yeah, Distance for Calm, yeah. I think it's all really like, again, I guess with music and stuff, it's not really thought out too much from my perspective. Like, I don't feel like I want to, you know, necessarily be someone that's like, I've got to do this, I've got to say it, but it's just natural. Like, it's how I talk to my mates. Like, you know, when you're with your friends, you just talk about stuff, and things just become important to you or not important to you. So with musical organisations, whatever, like, it's just natural when someone says to me, oh, do you want to chat about this? Like, well, if I feel like that, yeah, I'll talk to you about it, because it's how I feel. So, and they feel like that. So to me, it's not weird. Do you know what I mean? Or it's not like a conscious thing. It's just very natural.
On Spotify, you're described as like a neo-soul artist, and then on Google you're described as a dance/electronic artist.
What?
I know.
Really?
Yeah, and then I've had people say that you're a jazz artist or a pop artist. How useful do you think those like definitions are between?
I mean, you know what it is like, you need to like, I get it, because people need to like compare, like, just so they have an understanding. Like, even if I say to someone like, what's this, they say, check out this artist, I'm like, cool, what's it like? And then they're like, oh, it's a bit like, do you know what I mean? And then I'll know I'm not really going to get it, but you got to have like a ballpark, like a kind of guessing work of what it's going to be like. But yeah, I don't think any music, I think music at the moment, I think is quite genreless, you know, especially the artists that are doing really well. Like, you can't really put them in a box. I really love Octavian at the moment. He's like a rapper, but he's a singer, and like, do you know what I mean? I don't know how to like describe his music, and I think that's why he's doing so well, because it's so different.
Yeah, I think that's a big thing, isn't it, now in the music industry?
Yeah. And you get artists that are more like strict, like, this is more soul and this is more that, and that's cool as well, but I think for me, especially the projects I've done, it's not been like that. I've always thought in the future I might be more like regimented when doing a project. So I've always thought, oh, maybe my next project I'll do a soul project and make that project soul, and the next one I'll do an R&B project, and do you know what I mean? And then I'll do like a more reggae kind of project. Like, that's always been really exciting for me, is to like work in like album cycles and projects and like find a sound for that album. But up until this point, I haven't done that. I've just been, like I said, lucid. So where we're going in the future, I don't know, but yeah, I think it's difficult for people to describe what I am, because there's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, There's some elements like Been Through, which you released recently.
Yeah.
There's another version of that which is a lot like slower
acoustic.
and more chill.
Yeah.
But the version I guess you've released as like a single maybe is a little bit more dancey. Like you're saying,
but to me that's not dance music. Like I don't know. I would say it's like Afrobeat or dancehall. So maybe it is dancey, but it's like I think as soon as you put a beat to it, you're gonna do something. And that song actually was written with that beat. Like they came together. So when I made the acoustic version, it was only because I hadn't got the production that I wanted, and it was always supposed to be released as how it was, but I had to put the acoustic version out in the meantime because I didn't know if that was ever going to get released, because it was just like the person I was working with, we were back and forth in different places, and it was taking a long time. I just thought I want to put the song out. I'm really happy with it, and I said to myself, I don't want to wait. I waited a long time for my first record to put music out and songs out, and I got bored of it. By the time they came out, I wasn't excited. Do you know what I mean? When Serious came out, like I wasn't excited when Serious came out. But I should have been out like 6 years ago, before it came out. Imagine writing a song 6 years ago and playing it at every single one of your gigs, then putting it out, like, and you're supposed to be like, yeah, it's out, baby. Like, I was just like, thank fuck it's out. Like, I was annoyed that it should have been out a long time ago. So I said to myself, I'm never going to be like that again with music. If I write something and I like it and I record it, I'm just going to try to put it out.
So being on tour as well, like it must be quite a lot of fun, but I imagine it's quite tiring. Is there any way that you particularly deal with like ups and downs?
I mean, for me, if I'm completely honest, like it's pretty chill for me because I go on tour with a really good bunch of people, so there's never any kind of qualms or, we've never had arguments or anything like that, or there's never been like a bad vibe on tour. And also, like, we don't go on tour for that long. Like, this tour is like a month long, and in that tour we go back home. Like, when we're in the UK, there's a couple of times we go back to London, so it's all pretty relaxed. The main thing is you got to eat well. Like, that can obviously mess up your mood, because when you're on the road, like, you eat shit. Like, you go pull up at service stations and you get like something from Greg's or pizza or KFC and Burger King, which I all love, but when you're doing that every day, like,
it's not a home cooked meal.
Yeah, you just feel bad, innit? And you just sat there in the rain, you feel a little bit fucking weird. So I would say the main thing if you want to do with it is eat healthy, innit? Eat healthy, drink your water, go on good people, and I'm sure you'll be fine.
Yeah. Finally, if you had to choose to cover a track with its original singer sitting in the front row on one of your tour gigs, what's the track you'd pick?
It would be someone that doesn't sing, so I'll probably do like a rap song or something where the person's not really singing, or like different style, like Arctic Monkeys, maybe indie band.
Would you move into ever doing rap, because that's something you've not really like touched on?
I would love to be a rapper, obviously. I mean, not a rapper, but I would love to rap on my records, yeah. But I just got to finesse it. Like, it's a real skill, I think, and I don't think I'm that good at it, so...
Don't want to do it wrong.
Oh, I would hate to do it wrong. Can you imagine? Also, like, yeah, I don't know, like, words is really difficult for me. I'm good with melodies and just kind of like freestyling stuff, but when it comes to actually writing lyrics, I can really stew and get blocked quite easily, so... Obviously, with rapping, that's where it comes difficult, because you've got the same time frame, but about 1,000 more words to fit in. So it's a lot difficult for me, but... Yeah, pretty much every time I write a song, like, every verse is a rap, and then that's what takes me a long time to write, because I listen to a lot of hip-hop or rap music, whatever it is, like, so my natural delivery sometimes is like that. I can't remember the last time I sang, to be honest, so maybe in the future we'll get more stuff like that, but at the moment, I don't know, yeah, we'll see, maybe.